Hello, hello, hello. Hello, do you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Yay!
Hi, how are you, Kat? Let me just then, I'm gonna invite people here. Just a second. Finally, perfect.
Yay!
Okay, okay, perfect. Let me just go. I'm gonna move because I think my baby is gonna wake up.
Oh no.
So I'm afraid she's gonna wake up and I will start. I will have to bring her over. How are you,
Good.
Kat? How are you?
How are you?
Great. It's so nice to meet you.
You as well.
So, you live in Redondo Beach, right?
I live, yes. So literally like very close, like within a block and a half. A block.
That's awesome. And like, how long do you take to come here to LA?
Well, it depends on where. So I typically don't leave this area.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I know there's like this vast city out there. So I have meetings in like downtown LA and I'm like, how many freeways does it take to get there?
Oh my God, I hate downtown LA.
So what part do you live in?
I live in West Hollywood, but
Okay.
yeah, I know what you mean. Like, it's so fast, this city, that I wish that I could live more far from it. A
Yes.
lot here, but yeah, sometimes I wish that I could be farther and have more nature around me.
I am very fortunate that I live so close to the water. So and I every time that I drive by, because I drive by it every day, I look over and I'm like, no, just be grateful that this is what I wake up to every morning. People, come to visit our place, our, like vacation here. So it does
Yeah,
you do tend to get a little jaded, but I do try to remind myself that it's beautiful, and I buying a home, I know that I probably have to move a little further in,
I
um,
know. Yes.
but for now it's great. I do love it. So when you do come, let me know, and I can show you around.
Definitely. I asked my husband, like, where is Redondo Beach? But because we've been to Manhattan Beach, is that close?
Yes. So basically, it's Redondo, Hermosa, and Manhattan. So
Uh,
those three,
oh, so you're closer than to me.
yeah. So those between those three, it's called the South Bay. So if you've heard the term South Bay,
Yeah.
that's what it is. But yeah, I'm closer. So I'm like on the border of Torrance.
No, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. I love the beach. I love the beach. I mean, you cannot go. I don't go in there because it's too cold for me. But I love being in the beach. Like, I always go to Santa Monica, Venice, because that's the closest that I
Me
have.
too. I
Yeah,
do
but
too.
it's so cute. It's so cute. I love it, and I wish, for example, we went to Manhattan Beach, and I love the houses. Like, they're very cute, very, I don't know. I like that style, very cozy and beachy style.
So a lot of the on my site, on my website, most
Hmm.
of all those photos are all in Manhattan Beach.
Oh
So
wow.
Venice and Manhattan Beach, that's where I go to do my photo shoots, because I mean It's so easy. Like it literally is. I just pick a house.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I know
And
what you
hopefully
mean.
they're not home while I'm taking photos in their, in their front yard.
Yeah, yeah, yes. I know what you mean. I know, but like Manhattan Beach is so expensive, right? We've seen like we wanted to move there, but it's more expensive than LA.
Yes, truly, truly, truly. So in this area, it's like the least expensive of the beaches is Redondo. So it's Redondo, Hermosa, and it's how it's set up. So Redondo, Hermosa, and then Manhattan. And
Oh wow.
then I think Manhattan is probably even more expensive than like Venice or Santa Monica. Like it's pretty high end.
Expensive. Well, let's see. Well, we should maybe start and then see if anyone else wants to join. I
Okay.
know that probably some of them will. So, I send you this questionnaire that I wanted to ask you. And first of all, how do you get in this business? How do you this? I know I read your story. I would like for everyone to know about you, and I wanted to share how do you came with this idea of becoming a life and business coach. So go ahead
So
and
basically, you know, from my story, once I came home, um, I really wanted to kind of leave my past in the past and just kind of go on with my life and go back to my career in marketing and business development and do all of those things. And what really happened was, I think in a way, this career ended up choosing me versus me choosing it.
right,
And as much as I really wanted to maybe not talk about what had happened and for lack of better words, just sweep it under the rug,
right,
it became pretty evident pretty early on that it wasn't going to be something that I could do personally even. I just couldn't pretend that never happened to me and those things never happened. So I sought out my own I sought out my own career coach. And I
wow.
was just trying to figure out, like, what can I do now? Like, right now, what I'm doing was no longer fulfilling. I was no longer passionate about it. Your baby's waking up.
I'm sorry, sorry, sorry. She's just crying. I knew I was gonna wake her up.
No worries.
No,
Oh,
that's okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
oh.
I'm so sorry.
No, please don't.
Let me just grab her. She probably wants to go out of the crib.
Oh, hi, bud. Oh, hi. Hi, bud. Look at you.
She has a lot of hair in her face.
Oh my gosh, mine did too. And I just came from her school, and she just had she was so excited. They made Mother's Day cards and all this stuff.
Oh, where is she now?
She's in school right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How old is she right now?
4.
Oh, I saw the pictures and I thought she was like that age, you know?
Yes.
Look younger.
No, she's a little bit. Yeah, she's a little bit older now.
Oh wow. I bet are you like hands full every day?
Yeah. So for the most part, I do, when I do have her, so I co-parent with my ex-husband, her father.
Yeah.
But
He lives as well in Redondo?
Here's the thing with he and I, we have come to an unimaginable place, and we live literally like 10 steps away from each other.
That's awesome.
And so we are very close and in proximity, and we're good friends. We were good friends before everything happened, so we figured it took a while to get there, but we finally found some common ground. And so she lives close, so when we do drop-offs, we just walk. And if she misses me, then she walks up. If she misses her dad, we walk down. So
I think you did the best thing. Like everyone would like to do that, you know?
you know what, it like I said, it took time to get to that place, but it's been the best thing for her. I mean, we really did try to make, a situation such as divorce and co-parenting, as as positive as we possibly can. And I think for her, we do weekly dinners together. We spend, kind of major holidays together. So we integrate each other in each other's lives, and we're very comfortable with kind of where both of our lives are at right now. And it's just, for her, I can't imagine not doing this. Like, I can't,
Of course.
and I get, like, there's some situations, and there's, that this can't happen. And I get that. And I'm fortunate that it happened in ours.
Right.
But yeah, so he lives literally, like 5 doors down. And
that's amazing. That's amazing. And I bet that it might took a lot of time, but I know that right now you're in a place that it's all worth it. And once you have a child, I say this all the time, like, you stop being yourself and you stop being selfish, and it's all about her,
And I think you asked the question, like, what has motherhood taught me about business? And honestly, it's just patience. Like,
right?
Patience to just, let it be what it is.
Yes.
I was such a like rush mindset for so long, and got to get this, got to do that. And she just, she forces you to slow down. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Whether it's her, whether it's, like, we'll be walking and, I've got to get somewhere, and she stops to, look at a flower and be like, isn't this flower beautiful, Mama? And I was like, I would never stop to look at a flower. And I was like, it is a beautiful flower.
Yeah, the same happens to me. It's so funny, right? Like, you don't understand why this young person knows more about everything in life than you in some point, right?
It is. And I always say I love looking at the world through her eyes. Like,
oh yeah,
I really do. Like, I appreciate so many things. We'll be, like, driving or walking or doing something, and she'll just notice things that, that are new to her, or, that she doesn't usually see, that I, typically just drive by or walk by and never even think, to look twice. And she stops, and it makes me stop. And it just gives me, like, having her has just given me patience beyond, like, patience that could ever give it to me. So I'm great. I mean, on top of everything else, I'm grateful for that. Okay. But to go back to your question, so I sought out my own coach, like a career coach, and through that, I started to get interested a little bit more about what she did. So through our sessions and everything. So she was a career coach, but she did life coaching as well. And so that's kind of how I started down this road, and then slowly focusing more on the life coaching part of things. But I also, couldn't ignore that I did have 18 plus years in business, in marketing and business development and events and all those things.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you had a huge background in business and in marketing. So was it difficult for you to change those careers to just focus on being a life and coach? I think it's the same, right? Like, in the business coach, you have to know that stuff.
Yes. And so initially it was just life coaching. However, those kind of in my circle, those who were trying to, figure out what I was doing, were also asking when I first started out, like, oh, do you know this and do you know that? Because, very early on I was asking for, as you do when you're starting out, for, if anyone within your close circle of friends or family, or, reaching out and saying, this is what I'm doing. If you have any questions, let me know. And a lot of the questions that did come back was business. So it wasn't so much the life portion of it, but it was the business. So that's kind of why I decided to include it in mine. And I've learned, that the two really do go hand in hand. I mean, you can't not do the life coaching without some sort of business coaching as well in there. And knowing business in general, of just having that as a background too. So that is kind of how I started. I decided to then let go of my 9-to-5 and then go full time with the business coaching, the life and business coaching. So now I've been doing it for about 2 years now, a little under 2 years, and it's changed my life completely. It's changed the trajectory of my future, and just the amount of and who I meet. I've just met some incredible people, and I'm always fascinated by everybody's story because everybody has one, and it just kind of humanizes everything that we do and everything that I do for my own business.
Right. So, Kat, how do you think it's so important to us entrepreneurs and especially moms? How do you think it's so important to first figure out what do you want in life? Because I know that you are a life coach and then you're a business coach, which that covers everything and sounds amazing. But for us moms, and me including, I had this vision, I had this dream. But once you become a mom, you start having new dreams and you're having new inspirations. Like, for example, I would never done this community if it wasn't for my baby. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and you start growing things, but how important is to know exactly what you want in life and make it not a dream but a business?
I think that that's always going to be evolving. I don't know if, I don't know if, let's say at 75, you still want to, maybe then you kind of know what you want. But I think kind of at this age, especially at the start of motherhood, yes, you do, maybe you stop climbing that corporate ladder. Maybe that's kind of when you do, a lot of the clients that I work with do realize that at that point, things change. Their priorities change, their mindset changes, everything kind of changes, with the responsibility of now starting a family. So trying to figure out, honestly, what makes you, and it's so cliche to say what makes you happy and what drives you, but really that is, and finding out how can you make that be a business. And
right.
Throughout the planning or the mindset and all of those things, those types of questions, you kind of find out if it's something that you can see yourself doing, 5 years, 10 years down the road. So when I did my career coaching, with my coach, she was fantastic. And I tended, again, when you do these coachings with the ones that have been, successful that that you've used or you've sought out, you tend to always kind of pick a little bit from each one to then kind of build your own because it's what's worked for you. What she did with me was we sat down with what I thought would be a good career for me with my background, and she had me plan out what a week would look like in that life, what a month would look like in that life, what 5 months, 6 months, a year, in literally in detail. Right. And I would get into maybe 3 to 6 months, and I'd be like, oh no, I can't picture myself doing that, because it sounded great, like, oh, I want to do this and that, and she's like, okay, well, that's great. Where do you find your clients? How do you do that? And I was still so excited about it. And then she would go, okay, maybe, let's go 3 months into that. And what does life look like? What time do you get up in the morning? I was like, oh, okay, let's talk about that. What does your weekend look like? Do you work at, and so it was all of these little things. And then by 3 months into it, 6 months into it, I was like, I can't do that. I can't go down that road again. Yeah. So it was for me a wake-up call. And then, I got frustrated because I really thought, oh, that's what I want. Oh, that sounds great. And then that's when I kind of started asking about hers. And then she told me exactly what her life was like and what she does, and and again, she's had so much passion. And then we kind of incorporated it with what I have been through, my own personal story, and that's really how it started and how it was built. And I think for moms and for those who are trying to figure out what life can look like, or what that is that you want, it starts with that. It starts, yes, you can definitely, go back to school. You can, relearn or learn new things. Absolutely. I'm not saying that you can't. But find something, at least the ones that I've worked with, we find something that they are passionate about, whatever that is. And sometimes it's kind of an unknown. Mine was an unknown. I really wanted to kind of separate from what had happened to me. and I didn't, because part of it was embarrassment, part of it was, it was all of those things, still resentment and guilt and all of those things kind of tied into one. And I just wanted to like kind of capsulize it and, bury it somewhere and never see it again. And it just kept coming up. It just kept coming up. And it was those sessions and it was those conversations that she and I had where it did. But I think, for us who are trying to figure out what we want to do, where we see ourselves, is really finding out, what we're passionate about, what drives us, what's going to drive our family, and also what you want to be doing. Some people, they do want to do the corporate thing. They do find themselves up that ladder, and that's the direction they go. And some of us, crazy enough, do the entrepreneur thing.
I know, right? I can't understand people that go like it's from 9 to 5 and go nothing. I'm sorry, I just can't. You know what I mean? It's like you have to have control of your life. It's just one life. And I would love to be in control of that. Like, I used to work as well in 9 to 5, and I hated it because you cannot see the light of the day. You cannot do anything. You just wake up and do the same. It's just like a routine. And this life, it's so hard. It is so hard. Sometimes it's even so frustrating that you want to quit and go back to where you were. But I think that at the end of the day, it's all worth it because you can live. You actually live the life of the nature, and that's about it. Like, life for me, it's that, it's to live the nature, to see the trees, to go walking with your daughter, whatever you want to do, whatever you enjoy doing outside. You cannot do that in an office, So I think for us entrepreneurs, that's the best.
I think that, it does take, I don't want to say a special breed, but it does take somebody that has some stamina. This is not for the faint of heart, and I will say that. And I didn't go into it with that, but I can tell you that there was, there definitely have been a lot of surprises. And if I wasn't so determined, you really have to, you have to be determined. One, obviously, it's, you have to believe in it. Two, you have to be determined. You really do, because I don't know how many times, and they, I have great support from family and friends, but I don't know, those who are, obviously they're concerned about, my well-being, my financial, and all of those things involved. And very early on, they were like, okay, this has been fun and everything, but, when are you going to get that real job? When are you going to go back and, maybe do this on the side until, and then, and for a while, and if you allow it, and don't get me wrong, I wasn't always, as strong-minded or, strong-willed, because, things needed to get done. Bills needed to get paid. I still have a daughter to raise. So for a while, it was kind of one of those things, oh gosh, maybe they are right. Maybe I'm kidding myself. Maybe this isn't something I can do. But I just kept pressing, and I just kept working, and I just kept working, and I just kept putting myself out there. And that's probably one of the main things as well, is putting yourself out there, really not worrying about what anybody else is doing, which is so difficult in the beginning because you really want to, you want to be in line with your target market, you want to be in line with your competitors, but honestly, just focus on you, what you want to do, what message you want to send, how you want to speak about it, what you want to do with your marketing, and just focus on you, and things really do fall into place. But when you do too much of the comparing or, seeing what so-and-so, and it's great to be in these mastermind groups. I think they're invaluable. However, it's easy also to get stuck in the comparison game in them. So you have to know when to stop and use it for what it is, which is just gaining more information and gaining more valuable tools for yourself, not so much to compare yourself. But yeah, so I mean, it does take, being in this entrepreneur world, it takes some stamina, and it takes, a lot of willpower, and it's not easy. It's, there are a lot of sleepless nights. There are a lot of, when the baby goes to bed at 8, 9 o'clock at night, we're up until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, doing work, and then, a few hours of sleep. And it's, in a way, it's kind of, it's just like, I don't want to say not your salaried 9 to 5 type thing, but it has a purpose. The purpose is your life. The purpose is, what you get to do with your time, and no one dictates your time but you. And that's such a a huge thing, you know, in our world. Yes, we're working probably more than we ever have, and we ever, you know, even in a 9 to 5. But I know it's going to be worth it. I know it's already worth it. I've met incredible people. I have, you know, and been in the presence of greatness, and you know, and it's a very fulfilling, very, very fulfilling profession, career, and life choice for me. And and that's what I feel, you know, that in anyone that I do coach, that's the driving force. The driving force is fulfillment, passion, the family, and their own life, and that's the goal.
Right. That's so true, Kat. And how do you, like, before and when you started it, how do you started it? Like, how was your schedule, and how do you evolve until now? You've been here for 2 years doing this. So what mistakes or what you learned in these 2 years?
So many mistakes. So many mistakes. I could write a book on mistakes. One, honestly, is I didn't seek help early enough. I really wanted to do everything on my own. I'm a do-it-yourself, and I figured, you know, if I can figure this out, I can figure that out. But there really is a difference with, you know, running your own business and running it right. I wish that very early on I received the help that I, you know, so needed, and just bite the bullet. Whether that was, you know, doing it financially, or or asking for help, or and so that for me is kind of the biggest, as far as looking back, the mistake that I made was just not asking for help, and not and I hate to even say this because it's, you know, it's kind of been said over and over again, but not investing in my business, not just in myself, but in my business the right way. So I did things here and there that probably didn't really help my business a lot, but, you know, had I done it, if I were to do it over again, I would get help much earlier in the process. And then there's so many things that there's so many processes and things that, you know, I didn't even think about, you know, tax and insurance and legal stuff. I mean, just, you know, just things that you don't think about when, one, you're coming from a corporate world that's already, you know, in place, and you don't even have to think about those things. You know, you do your job and you receive a salary, and yeah, there's insurance involved and you pay for that, but you don't even think about any of those things. And then just the running of your business, you know, just.
So you got help from someone who could help you right now with that part of the law part, or?
Yeah. So little by little, you know, as you find things out, you're like, oh, I probably should look into that. Ooh, but you know, if there was one thing is very early on, you know, had I invested in somebody that had all of those things kind of put together, that could show me and tell me what I didn't know, basically, and I would have been much better off, and probably just maybe even further down the line. You know, I don't regret what I've been through, because it also helps me with my clients, because these are things that came up with what I was doing, and I'm sure they're going through with what they're doing as well. So you know, without having gone through it, I wouldn't know it. So, you know, these are things that I ask kind of in our process, and again, they're like aha moments, like, oh, I didn't think about that. I was like, yeah, believe me, I didn't think about it either. And, you know, whether it ended up biting me, you know, later on, or it was just something that I just never even thought of, and, you know, probably needed earlier on in my you know, business, I should have done. But like I said, those are probably the two things, and just not being vocal enough very early on, and just, you know, kind of being in the background and seeing what everybody else was, you know, putting out there, and, you know, probably being a little bit afraid of being judged. But the minute that I got over that, I was like, I was everywhere. But but that's what it is. You have to get out there. Like, it starts with you. You're the only person that's going to, to get yourself out there. They're not going to come to you. And that's the biggest thing, is that, just because you put a blog out there, or just because you get on YouTube, or you do all these things, people aren't going to be knocking down your door, for your services or your product. You have to do it. Like, you have to do as that is.
Yes.
You have to, people have to.
Sorry. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, people have to hear you, and people have to, they have to know, people want to hear from you. Your people, right. Your audience, they want to buy from you. They want to support you. They want to follow you. But if they don't know you, they can't do that.
Yeah, I think that's true, because if they don't know you and they don't trust you, they're not going to be willing to be working with you. So you have to first do that. That's why I think, like, a coach, it's important. I never had heard the word coach before, but I think now that I think about it, like, yeah, that's true. I've done too many webinars right now. I've done everything by myself, and it's true that you need someone, just like a mentor, like someone that guides you to do the best thing for your business. So I think a business coach, a life coach, it is truly important. But Kat, how do you think, like in this couple minutes that we have left, how do you see women dealing with coaching? Like, what could you tell them if they are gonna be working with you? Like, what odds, if we want to pay you for doing this service, what we're gonna get from you? So what's the importance of life coaching?
The best way from when I work with my clients is just clarity and somebody to partner with, and that's what I am. I'm not here to give you all the answers and do things for you. It's a partnership. We collaborate together, and it's just a clarity on what you want, because there really is so much out there, and sometimes we just don't know exactly what we want and what direction we have a goal. We just don't exactly know how we're going to get there, and there's so much information. And again, I'm just as guilty as everyone else. When I first started out, that I was at analysis paralysis. I had so much information, I didn't know which direction to go. And I would start and I would look left and be like, oh gosh, that person is doing that. Maybe I should do that. Okay, let me do that. And then a week later, I'll be like, I got nothing accomplished. I'm nothing accomplished. And so it just became this very frustrating wheel for me, where if I had just invested earlier with somebody that said, okay, what is your goal? How are we going to get there? Okay, this week we're going to do this. This week we're going to do this. This week. And it helped because I didn't have a very good plan in place for myself, because I was so all over the board. So I didn't have I had the vision, I just didn't have the plans on how to get there. So literally, I would wake up on a Monday feeling just awesome and great, and I can't wait to conquer the world. And by Friday, I'm pulling my hair out, because I visited 10 webinars. I went to a couple seminars. I did some networking. I signed up for 10,000 newsletters that I never read, and I opted into about 30,000 opt-ins that I never even opened, and I was still at square one. I still didn't have much of a business, much of anything to say any further than I was on Mondays. It was so frustrating. And I know everyone has to go through that. It's not overnight. I don't, and that's kind of the one thing that I also tell my clients is that, this is not going to take overnight. We're not she's up. In 30 days, we're not, you're not going to be, a millionaire. It's just not. We're putting plans and goals and actionable steps on what we need to concentrate on. And that's basically what it is focus. Is working with me is focus. Is focus on what the goal is. Focus and not so much focus on what the goal is, 6 months from now. Let's just focus on what our goal is this week. Let's get to that goal. Let's conquer that goal. Let's move on to the next. And that's
Right.
working with me. That's what you get out of it is clarity, actionable steps, knowledge and information, ones that I've acquired, ones that I continue to acquire, and mistakes that I have made that I tell people, what not to do basically because I've made them, and how to get to your end goal and see it to fruition, and not just, and with working with me, I don't ever leave my clients with just, okay, at the end of the 3 months or the end of the 6 months, or if we're together for a year, that's it, we're done. I do longer sessions with them too. So I figure out, even if we're just working for 3 months, what those 3 months end goal is, and then we plan out 6 months and 9 months and 12 months, so that at least once we leave, they have something else and a goal to even get to, and then they can use the tools and all those things that we did to get to that place. Now, whether or not they then get them to the next level, hopefully it's me. Even if it's not me, then at least they do have something in place where at the end of the 3 months, 6 months, whatever our session is, that there's still work. They still see things that they're working towards, and they're just not kind of left there going, because that's what happened to me. At the end of 3 months, I was like, okay, now what?
Right.
Like, now what do I do? Okay, I guess I move on, And so I always felt like, I needed more, and that's what I provide my clients as well.
That's awesome, Kat. So just so everyone knows, what are you willing to do for us in the community? What do you expect from the community? And anything you want to have in this tribe that I'm trying to do. So I want to have this moment so you can tell us about that.
Well, for the community standpoint, it's just a kind of a place really where it's just a source of one inspiration, one support, and for good and bad, for things that maybe we learned throughout the process. I think together we can accomplish such great things. I have learned so much from being a part of these groups. Very early on, it was just kind of acquiring information because that's what I needed. I needed to, to get my business going. So that's what I used it for. But, as you're in the business and doing it, it's providing support for those that are just coming up and doing their own thing. It's just, and it's basically, it's like a giving circle. It's just giving back. But, for those that are ahead of me, that are already in business 3, 5, have 10 years, is getting, some feedback from them on how, they've been able to scale their business and, what mistakes that they, see or been through as well. And just kind of a community that says, for what I do, at least, and for the women that I support in my target market, that it really, truly does not matter what we have been through and what has happened to us, good or bad. It's how we handle life after it.
Okay.
So it's, and not to be defined by anything that's happened to us, and not to be defined as a mom. I mean, it's a great thing. It's the proudest thing that I've ever done. But it solely is not just what I do. I'm not just a mom. Like I want to inspire my daughter, my own daughter, and anybody else out there that says, I can't do these things. I can't run a business and be a mom, and live this life, because I can. I know I can. And there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of women that are doing the same exact thing, and that we are all. No one is special. Like, no one is gifted. It's all in us. We have to work for it, but it's all in us. It's innate in all of us. And you have no more gifts than I do. It's just the drive that we have. It's that determination that says, you know what, I'm not going to listen to a person that says I need to get a 9 to 5 to be successful. No,
Thank you so much, Kat, for being here.
You're welcome.
I really love to have you in this community, and to be part of this is amazing. And I appreciate all your words and all the effort that you are doing right now to be someone in this life. And I am inspired by you, and I think we all would love to hear more about you. So thank you for being here these 30 minutes, and I hope
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. I can't wait to see what you do and what you continue to do and what the community continues to do. And I will, I will support it as much as, as much as I can, because I truly believe that, that it takes a village.
yes.
It really does. I know that I can't do this.
That's exactly what I want to do. Like if I am good at WordPress or shipping things or whatever thing I am good at, I would love to help others. And I know that you're good at guiding people. So I would expect you to help us being that, helping us to be having clarity in whatever we want to accomplish. So thank you, Kat, and we'll see you in the community.
Absolutely. Let me know if there's anything that you need, and I'm happy to help.
Thank you, and I hope to see you soon and meet you in person.
Yes, definitely. Let's come to the beach. But happy Mother's Day.
Oh, happy Mother's Day to you too. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.